Welcome to the Courage to Live podcast. My name is Josh Bitsko. I'm a retired police captain with 24 years of experience in Las Vegas. Currently, I travel the country and I teach people about courage, resilience, and leadership. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about, I think, something important and something that cops, but even just men don't do well. And that's finding connection with peers or friends or finding your group. So, a lot of things that I talk about is building resilience. And resilience is really, put it simply, the ability to experience traumatic incidents and still perform both mentally and physically after. And I give a lot of people different tools on how to build resilience, whether through emotional regulation or self care. But one of the things that I think is missing is having a connection with similarly situated people that you can vent and talk to and bounce ideas off of. And it's something that several times throughout my career, I failed to really put effort into. So when things were going bad for me, whether it was critical incidents at work or losing my brother, losing my dad, I've generally sought isolation. I would I just didn't want to talk to people. I would go either work out and have headphones on. I didn't seek out connection for a variety of reasons. A lot of times it was avoiding reliving what I had went through. So I didn't want to talk about it. And I realized later that that wasn't serving me at all. What it really was doing was making the hard feelings worse. And as I went through, these periods in my life of isolation where I, just like I said, didn't want to talk about anything hard, I learned that, there are people out there that care for me. And I have a couple really good friends. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking outside of your romantic relationship. Jenna is amazing and she is somebody that is always a sounding board for me and that I can talk about hard things with, and she'll listen and help when she can. And that's great. And it really does help me. But also, as a man, that I want to have other men that I can sit down and talk to and share, what I'm going through. And then they can share what they're going through with me, and really building those connections to be able to, I can tell you that even now when I'm overwhelmed or stressed with, run the business or traveling or all the responsibilities of being a dad, when I have a good friend that I worked with, and him and I'll meet up and have a beer and just talk. And I 100% of the time feel better after. And so I think that if we prioritize that in our life, is having multiple people in our life that we can sit down and be real with and talk to. They'll help you. That you can help them. It is just part of living a fuller life. And it really does build that resilience because, I did another podcast about carrying the weight alone. And this one's connected to that because, when you feel alone and you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, the negative emotions just compound. And just sitting down and sharing what you're going through can really help take that weight off. And it opens you up to, fixing some of the things that you need to fix because you get another perspective on it. And again, just the act of talking about it and putting it out there can help lighten that load. So what I want you to do is really just prioritize those friendships, because as you get older and your kids are older and you're at sports and games on the weekends and school projects and work and traveling and all of these things, oftentimes the first thing to go is adult friendships. So finding that person, just put a little effort into it and you might be surprised by the results that you get from it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it with a friend, subscribe, leave a review. If you like some of the things that I talked about in my book, The Courage to Live, on Amazon, you can search Amazon, The Courage to Live by Josh Bitsko, and I get way more in depth into a lot of the things that I talk about into this podcast. So I appreciate you spending time with me today.